Ladies and gentlemen, we're back for part two of interesting people that did not get credit through history. Ladies and gentlemen, it's St. Patty's Day. I have been drinking. I should not be hosting this show. So fire whoever put me in charge. But anyways, we're back. I am with my wife Jen and George. And if you missed the first show, shame on you because we had some really interesting stuff. George and I tried to pronounce some German, which I don't think really went over too far. But we're back.
Russian's not any easier.
Yeah, no, Russian. That's right. No, well, what was the guy's name? It don't matter.
Vladimir.
No, not Vladimir. Plankton. Plankton. Petrov. Petro. There we go. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of fun on the show. We don't mean any disrespect or any harm. We're just having some fun. So we're going to come right back. Jennifer, go ahead with another interesting thing that you found throughout history.
All right. Have you guys heard of Marilyn Shepard?
No.
Okay. This is a mystery. The 1954 murder of pregnant Marilyn Shepard by her husband, Dr. Sam Shepard, in Bay Village, Ohio, became one of America's most famous cases. A media-driven, sensationalized trial resulted in a 1954 conviction, which was later overturned by the U.S. Supreme Court due to unfair publicity. July 4th, 1954, Marilyn was found beaten to death in her bed, suffered over 25 blows to her head. Her husband, Sam, claimed a bushy-haired intruder attacked him and killed his wife. He was retried in 1966 and was acquitted. The case inspired The Fugitive with Harrison Ford. In 2000, a civil suit filed by Sam's son for wrongful imprisonment was lost, with a jury siding against the estate, suggesting in interviews that Sam likely committed the murder. Yep, it's still on.
And what year?
1954.
Did it happen at their house or at a cabin?
I think at their house because the son was in the and she was pregnant.
I heard of a similar one where it happened. They had like a summer cabin, but maybe that was a different one.
It was at their house.
Okay.
And they discovered 25 blows.
So
Jesus Christ.
The Supreme Court overruled it because of the publicity.
Yeah, because of all the publicity. It was like an unfair trial.
Unfair trial. Like maybe the jury were already believed that he was guilty before it went to court.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that happens a lot, though. You know, especially now.
Well, it usually happens with more famous people. I mean, it usually doesn't happen with. I mean, these were just regular people, right? I mean, they weren't famous.
Having an affair or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it. I mean, the whole OJ trial thing. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, that was extremely publicized.
Yep.
I watched it.
And yet somehow, it was not guilty.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know, and then you know, and not to just take away from George, in his next one is, and then OJ gets arrested for stealing his own memorabilia. So, yeah.
Well, he didn't steal it from his collection, you know.
So very good, Jen. I mean, that you started out with very two sadistic women that was very well not taken care of.
Yeah.
Now you know.
So, does anyone know who invented the television? The guy's name is Philo Farnsworth. In 1927, at the age of 21, he demonstrated a working image dissector, what we now today, well, probably not today, but back then would call a television. But he was overshadowed very quickly when large corporations took his idea and ran with it. So he was never really credited for it because he never got a patent for it before the corporations took it and ran with it. What's strange is I've sort of heard the name before I researched it. Have you ever heard of the streaming service Philo?
I think so.
Yeah, it's kind of like does any trying to think of the other ones that are like it.
It's a streaming service like Sling.
It's a streaming service like it has like 100 channels.
Yeah,
like AMC, A&E, CMT. It has all them channels in one place. It was named after Philo Farnsworth.
Huh, really?
So they gave him credit, but I would not have known. When I saw the name, it didn't say it in the article. I had to look that part up. I'm like, wait a second. His first name is literally the streaming service that we use.
No shit.
So I looked it up and I'm like, is this named after him? And it is definitely named after him. So at least somebody recognized him. I don't know when Philo started, but we're talking, it's almost 100 years since he introduced the television. And I've probably had it for 4 or 5 years.
Interesting.
But I don't know when it came about. I hadn't heard about it. I was about 4 or 5 years ago when we went full streaming. I looked up different ones to get our basic cable, I guess you would say.
Right.
Because we had cable before that, and it was just too expensive. So I went with a streaming, and I looked up many, and Philo had all the channels that we watch, and it was the most reasonable price.
That is, are you saying Philo with an F or a V?
PH.
Philo.
Smarty pants, teacher's pet. That is very interesting.
I think George is talking about him, so maybe he could get a discount on his TV.
Yeah, see? I don't know. I doubt anybody from there watches the show, but maybe.
Oh, reach out to him. Be like, listen,
I plugged you on. But yeah, I thought it was interesting that the only reason you didn't know about him, that we didn't know his name, is because corporations competed with him and actually produced it faster and better than he did. But it was his idea. They just took it and made it bigger and better faster because they had the money to back it.
And so roughly 94 or 95 years later, he actually gets his recognition for a stream.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job. Philo with a PH.
Yeah.
So,
Nothing.
okay, zip it. All right. When I was researching, please don't laugh. Yes, I did research. I thought this was very, very interesting. I'll just stay with how we started out. Anybody ever heard of Mary Anderson, who was born in 1866? Probably not.
No.
And it was not on Jeopardy. Anyway, look at it. She invented the first ever operator-controlled windshield wiper in 1903. Now, she was on vacation in New York City, and she was inspired by, on a very snowy day during a trolley car ride, she noticed that the driver had to keep opening the windows to see. So what she did was she designed a lever-operated, spring-loaded rubber blade. So from what I saw, and I don't know if it's true, the driver would be driving. He could do this, which the mechanism would make I don't even know how to explain it, and it would make the rubber just go back and forth like this. So just like, you know how kind of like you open the old school bus doors or whatever.
Mhm.
You would pull a lever and it would just fold them in like that. So that's what I thought. I think I saw is he or she driving the trolley car would just do this, and it would just bring them back and forth. And she patented it in November of 1903. But she was also an American real estate developer, rancher. She owned her own vineyard. Owned her own vineyard in Alabama.
Hmm.
Now I forgot to write down, but the reason she didn't get a lot of credit was because some other guy came up with a better way to have windshield wipers. However, she patented it, so she really is the inventor of the windshield.
Right.
You think it was because he was a guy and it was back in whatever?
And back then, yeah. I mean,
yeah. I mean, she lived from 1866 to 1952. So, I mean, that's
well, even in 1952, we didn't have equal rights yet
right
completely. So,
but so I thought that was pretty interesting how.
I actually think I remember now. I don't know if it was her invention or whoever came after her and did it, but I think I remember I know a guy who had a really old car that had hand operated wipers.
Okay.
Like it didn't have a motor to run it. You ran it. You did it by hand.
Yep. So.
Yeah. So, but I don't know if that was hers or the guy that created it after her.
You know, I'm really liking this show because obviously, you know, we didn't talk and tell each other what we were researching.
Right.
But these are just really interesting. I don't want to say topics, but you know, people unsung heroes throughout history.
Yeah.
I think it's really
that no one remembers because some for some reason, like I said, like in the one, obviously because he was a son of a slave, of a runaway slave, and yours would be the female. You know, she was a female in 1903.
Yep.
Or they're overshadowed by corporations or somebody that came along and took their idea and made it better.
Yep. But you know, with yours, with the TV thing, it came back 95 years later to
Right.
So getting the recognition. So
yeah, at least he's getting a little bit now. Not that anybody will remember his name just because of that, but they'll remember his first name anyway.
Well, you know, let's hope that all our listeners and viewers will be like, "Wow, that's pretty interesting." And hey, maybe, we'll find out what happens.
Yeah.
What you got, Jen?
I got a short one. Did you know that during World War II, a Great Dame.
Wait, I didn't want to question because I'm like, okay, a Great Dame, okay.
A Great Dane named Juliana was awarded the Blue Cross Medal. She extinguished an incendiary bomb by peeing on it.
Nice.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
There's yeah. I know back in those times they used a lot more animals to do different things. I don't think her job was to pee on an incendiary grenade or bomb, but
You gotta go, George.
but when you gotta go, right?
Interesting.
But yeah, I do know back during that time they used a lot more animals than they do now. I mean, obviously now only for canine, even in the MPs, but I don't think they use I never saw us. We didn't use any animals when I was in. So,
right. Good one. Wow, that's interesting. Great Dane, not Great Dame.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was a woman. I started off.
Could have been.
Maybe it was a woman. She sat down and squatted on the bomb. Peed on it. I don't know.
All right, George, what do you got?
All right. Maurice Hillman. He was born in 1919 and he died in 2005. He's a microbiologist and he developed over 40 vaccines throughout his life, including measles, mumps, hepatitis A and B. Ultimately, by him creating these vaccines, he saved more lives than any other medical science in the 20th century.
Wow.
And I had never heard of his name until about an hour and a half ago. I just thought it was interesting that he's the one who developed it, but I'll bet you when they came out, they just said doctors at the CDC or at this college or this university or whatever have developed, you know. I'm sure that's what it was announced, not Maurice Hillman, you know.
Yeah, of
And
course.
I don't even know if anything is named after him or anything. But he created, like I said, 40 vaccines that took care of that for disease,
Right.
disease that would kill us. I mean, I know we think, a lot of people think measles, but we know now, haven't there been a few recent measles deaths?
Yeah.
And they're from unvaccinated people. And we know hepatitis kills. I don't necessarily know. What was the other one I said? Mumps. I don't know.
Interesting. It's interesting that something like that, the individual will never get the credit that he or she deserves. That's
No.
that's sad. So, very good, George. All right. So the last one I looked up, I thought it was very, very interesting. And then George, I know you got some more, so we'll make time so you can get them all out. This was.
I got one more. One more.
Yeah. So this was the 442nd Regimental Combat Team was a segregated U.S. Army unit composed of Japanese Americans that became the most decorated unit for its size and length of service in American history. Serving in Italy and France during World War II, they fought under the motto, "Go for broke." Now, the reason why I found this interesting is because we've all heard at one time or another, "Go for broke," right? That's where it came from. And this group earned over 9,000 Purple Hearts. If I'm not mistaken, Purple Hearts is the highest medal you can earn. George, I think you would know.
It's a medal you earn if you're injured in combat.
Okay. So it was made up of volunteers and draftees. The unit was formed in 1943 following a call for volunteers bringing together, I can't even pronounce the word, NISEI, I don't know, I'll just say NICE, from Hawaii and the mainland, many from incarceration camps. About 14,000 men served over the course of the war, often replacing casualties, which I'm assuming people went down, they just stepped up and took over, with the unit's original strength being around 4,000 men. The structure part was it included the 100th Infantry Battalion, which became the 1st Battalion, the 522nd Field Artillery Battalion, and the 232nd Combat Engineer. So the reason why I found it interesting is because of the motto, "Go for broke," which I always thought was a sport term, right? You're going for broke, right? You've heard
Right.
I had no idea that's what it was about, so I thought that was just very interesting to bring up, and I don't know, I found it very, very interesting.
Yeah, I know because you mentioned Hawaii in that. Hawaii actually, other than the natives that lived there before it became a state, but a lot of Japanese, when they left Japan, moved to Hawaii. I don't know if they foresaw what was coming, like what their ruler was going to do during World War II. I don't know.
Yeah. But just the last thing. So under the legacy and recognition, the decorations, that unit alone earned 8 presidential unit citations and 21 Medal of Honors. So
the medal now did it say the Congressional Medal of Honor?
Just the Medal of Honor.
See, if it had said congressional, and I knew that for a fact, that is the highest honor because both houses of Congress got a majority vote for you to get that medal.
Okay.
Now, 9 times out of 10, if it gets to Congress, they're voting yes. I mean,
Right.
why would you vote against,
Just
a guy or somebody that just did something miraculous in a war?
Mhm.
Whether you agree with the war or not, you would want to vote for that.
No, absolutely.
You
agree.
wouldn't want to be the one. You wouldn't
Yeah.
want to be the one deciding vote that said no, he doesn't get it.
Yeah, kind of like the one. Not to get off course here, like the one. The guy who sits on the Hall of Fame for the baseball said no to Derek Jeter.
Right.
Everybody,
Yeah.
he was one guy, but
What? Yeah. Do you want to be that one guy?
right.
Now,
So, like I said, I thought it was really interesting.
maybe the only thing I could see in that, not that we want to dwell on the Derek Jeter thing, but maybe he was a bigger Mariano Rivera fan and wanted Mariano to be the only one with 100% of the votes.
Possibly. Very good. Hey, you're right. And they both deserve it. But like I said, people handed off to Jennifer. I just thought it was very interesting because, as I said, you've heard so many times go for broke. I had no idea where it came from, and I wanted to share it. So
yeah, I didn't know.
Well, what you got, Jen?
I just got a little thing here. I know.
We made George lose.
All right, focus. Okay, The Avengers isn't just a movie. They were a group of Jewish assassins who hunted Nazi war criminals after World War II. They poisoned 2,283 German prisoners of war. Shall we watch?
Yeah, wait a minute.
This is true.
So we watched, I don't know what the name of the show is, I'll have to look it up. We watched a show, it had Al Pacino in it and some other, I don't know. It was actual people that were hunting Nazis here in the United States because after World War II, the U.S. took a whole mess of Nazi scientists and brought them over here, blah, 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 but people were still living here in the United States.
Was it just in the U.S. or did they go to South America too?
Oh, I don't know.
Probably.
But
because I know some of them. I know some of the Nazis were sent to Argentina, I think.
Maybe. Interesting.
I mean, there's a conspiracy theory that Hitler didn't kill himself. He was shipped to Argentina.
So
that's the part of he was in South America on the show.
Yeah. Okay.
That is.
Yeah, it's a conspiracy theory that he never killed himself. That he was one of the ones that was shipped to Argentina or South America. It's South America, but I believe it was Argentina. I could be wrong.
Hold on, I'm just looking it up real quick. Oh, it's called Hunters.
Yeah, Hunters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was only, I think, 2 seasons.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot. And it's just really weird that is based off of the Avengers. Wow, that's just very, very interesting. Very good. Good job, John. Okay, George, you're up.
I'm just writing Hunters down. I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, I thought it was.
All right. My last one is Dr. Charles R. Drew. He improved the development on techniques of separating, storage, and transporting blood and blood plasma. Now, he did this prior to not long before World War II. Now, the reason he's probably not famous is, once again, his race. Now, there's a story that everybody claims on April 1st, 1950, while driving, I don't know where they were driving from. They're Howard University. From Howard University, they were driving to, I believe, Alabama, him and a few colleagues. Charles Drew fell asleep at the wheel and crashed the car. Only him and one other colleague were hurt. One was minor injuries. Charles was hurt pretty badly. Now, the story behind it was he was taken to a whites-only hospital, and they refused to work on him, and he died, needing a blood transfusion. That is incorrect. But many people believed it for many years. But actually, they found notes from Drew's family that were sent to the hospital thanking them for attempting to save his life. His injuries were just far too severe to save his life. But many people, like, I don't know who would have put the story out. I imagine somebody that they use it as propaganda, and they put the story out that he passed away because they refused to give him a blood transfusion because it was a whites only hospital. But the people at the whites only hospital did try to save his life, because his associate that was in there, when he was taken care of enough to be transported, he was transported to a hospital that was blacks only. He was transported. So they treated both of them. It was just Drew's injuries were far too severe to save his life. But I thought that was interesting because there's a episode of MASH that mentions Charles Drew. It was early, probably season 1 or 2, because Trapper was there, not Honeycutt.
Okay.
A soldier came in with injuries, and he needed another pint of blood. Hawkeye was the doctor. Ginger, I think was her name, was the nurse. She was black. When she went to get another unit of blood, the soldier says to Hawkeye, make sure I don't get any of that darky stuff.
I remember now, yep.
Yep. And then by the end, they act like they gave him the wrong blood, and they dye his skin a little to make it look like he's darkening. And at the end, he said, did you give me the wrong blood? And Trapper says, all blood's the same. And then Hawkeye says, have you ever heard of Charles Drew, Dr. Charles Drew? And he goes, no. He goes, and then he told the story with the propaganda story that he died. No, that the whites only hospital wouldn't treat him because he was black. So that's why I found that one interesting, is because I've actually seen the episode. And I actually thought that the propaganda story was true until I read further, and they actually found the letters that the family sent, because the family came to the hospital and they had tried to save him, So that's why I found that one interesting.
I'm just looking up, because I vaguely remember that episode. Obviously, MASH was a huge success.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, when the guy was on the gurney, he grabbed a hold of one of the doctors by the arm. And that's when he said, don't give me none of that.
Oh, I think so. I think he grabbed Hawkeye by the arm right when he said, make sure I don't get any of that darky stuff. I think he did grab his arm.
Yeah. That is very interesting.
Yeah. And then when he comes to Hawkeye's tent, when he comes to the tent, they're having a little party in the tent. Surprise, surprise, right?
Yeah, right.
And he walks up to Hawkeye with his gun. He has his gun in his hand, and they're like, oh, no, what's he doing? And he just says, thank you for fixing me up and giving me something to think about. And he salutes that nurse before he leaves. Saying that the story changed his life, made him think differently.
Yeah. Interesting. That is just so interesting that a lesser unknown person in history that deserves so much credit actually gets a shout out like 30 years later in
Yeah.
a episode.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, because that was it had to have been in the 70s when maybe I would say late 70s, early 80s. It ran 11 seasons, so I don't remember when the last season was. Last season was either 82 or 83.
So it was season 2, episode 9, November 10th, 1973.
Yeah, so
Yeah, man. So
20 years later,
yeah.
probably 25, because I didn't see what year he developed when he developed the way to separate blood. I didn't see what year he actually did that. So maybe 25, maybe even 30 years later, but somewhere between 20 and 30 years later, he gets recognized.
So it seems like just in a couple of our research here that we talked about, they didn't get their credit then, but it seems like it's coming full circle and they're getting their.
Some of them.
They're getting their, hopefully this show, somebody's listening, maybe if they're a historian or, they're history buff, they'd be like, oh, wait, what's this? It just starts a whole avalanche full of people getting the recognition because I think they really should.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously some of them are getting some recognition, but not what they should have been. I mean, they should have gotten it all along.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just before, I just end the show, do we want to talk about the importance of me in history or are we just not gonna?
No.
I got George to look away on that one. Look at him. He's thinking about it. No.
I'm trying to think what is it that he's famous that he needs recognition for?
Because I have an ego.
Well,
Duh.
But
I don't have as big of an ego as I used to. I used to have one. It's not so much anymore.
Well, before this turns into a roast of yours truly and it ends up with these two talking about a toaster in the bathtub with me. See, look at they.
Hey, all I gotta know is are you boiling a brisket?
But isn't that? Never mind. That's for a different show.
That's going to be another unsolved mystery right there.
Yeah, you guys are gonna be doing a show. Jen, where's J Dubs? I don't know. He left.
It's a mystery.
It'll be a goodbye fucking song.
Well, keep it up. Fuck around, find out.
For obviously George and Jen, thank you guys for taking time out of your busy schedule. Thank you for putting in the work for researching, making me research. Jen, this is a great topic. I think we should do something like this again in the near future. I found it very interesting.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Even like the Old West, like certain train robbers or cowboys and all that.
Yeah.
There's so much.
We can certainly talk about doing something like this next week for our show, depending on what goes on. But for Jen and Bobby Sue down here, you can't see her. I know background somewhere. I saw the tail. Sorry. Sorry, Jen. It wasn't your Jen, but ladies and gentlemen, this has been JK'z Rewatchable Hour. Now
that's our oldest one.
What's the name?
Hisser.
Oh, okay.
She was when Jennifer worked at the Ovid house. This was a stray outside of the Ovid house. And every time you got near it, it would hiss. And then finally it got to where it liked her and she brought it home.
Aww. Yay. But
she still hisses once in a while. For no reason. You'll be walking by her and she'll just start hissing and be like, really?
So doesn't Jen, don't worry.
I could have just put food in the food dish and she'll hiss.
Oh.
So will Jeff.
That's normal.
Yeah, pretty much. But ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to us, comment. Let us know what you're listening to us on. Are you on iHeartRadio? Are you on Pandora, Spotify, Amazon? Are you on Apple? There's about 13 other ones that I don't even know. I can't pronounce them all. But if you're watching us on YouTube, leave us a comment. Let us know what you guys think. Definitely smash that like button. Keep the views coming up. I just do want to give a shout out to this entire channel. Everybody affiliated with it. In the last month, we've gone from 85,000 views up to almost 125,000 in 30 days. So appreciate everything that you guys do. Jackie, George, Aleen's daughter, Haley,
Eric.
Did I forget Eric? Shit, sorry, Eric. Sorry. I'll talk to you when you come back from Florida. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed the show. We'll talk to you guys later. This has been JK'z Rewatchable Hour. Do you have anything to say before I close out?
No, you're all got it.
You got it.
All right, thank you. You sure you don't want to talk about our sponsor? Oh, I know I hit stop. Oh, there we are.